Hi, I am Marina. Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to share with you how I planned and organized one particular trip that is very important to me. It is the trip with my mom. I haven't seen her for a very long time. She's based in Belarus, and it's really hard to get her visa to Europe, but we managed to do this. There was another circumstance is that she is a teacher, so she can't just allow herself go on a holiday whenever she wants, but we had to adjust to the breaks in the school, and it was an autumn break. So because both me and her we had visas, so I know that she loves Europe, and we were trying to find the best city where we can go so that she can enjoy Europe. And nothing best came to my mind rather than to my opinion, best capitals in Europe. And here I'm talking about Paris and Rome. So, okay, what is Paris or Rome? So, which one is better? It's almost impossible to decide. These both cities are amazing. So what we did, we took two. We decided to go to both Rome and Paris, and that's the first thing that you have to decide is the destination where you want to go. The second obviously is the time frame, and there we didn't have any other choices. So basically we picked the weeks when she was available during the students break. So once you have your destination, once you have your timelines, it's time to search for the flights and the accommodation. So as for the flight, it's not a big deal to find a flight. If you live in London, you can travel back and forth several times in one day, but it's quite a challenge to find a flight if you live in Belarus because there are no flights at all. This is the first thing, and second is that you have to travel somewhere, either Poland or Lithuania or Latvia or Estonia or any other nearby countries, just to be able to fly from there. And also wanted to make sure that neither me nor mom had to wait for a long time for each other. Preferably I wanted to arrive first so that I can meet her. It was one of her first times flying alone. So I was a bit worried, but everything went well, and we managed to find a good commute from Minsk to Vilnius by bus. So we actually booked her hotel there, so she stayed the night there, and then in the morning she went from Vilnius to Paris. That was our first city. And yeah, then the accommodation. So accommodation is probably one of the hardest part for me in my planning, because I had to find first as the area where you want to stay, and that's where your friends or any other acquaintances of yours can give you some recommendations, because you can definitely Google, you can Google forever, you can explore, you can even open Google Map and do 3D viewing of the spaces, but it will take you a lot of time. So it's better just to ask people who've already been to the city so they can recommend you the best area to stay or not stay. But also be aware here, because people differ, and one person can prefer being closer to some noisy street with lots of bars, lots of action, while another person, me, prefers a quiet space, quiet part of the city, not far from the city center, not far from the attractions, but where you can have a long, good sleep. Personally, I'm using different sources of resources to find the accommodation. I'm using Airbnb, Booking, hotels combined, lots of different sites. But what I learned is that once you find the accommodation, for example, on booking.com, it's better to check the prices on the website of this hotel, because in some cases it can be cheaper to book via the original website. So far I told you pretty simple basic stuff, but now my time to shine has come. So I will introduce you to my process of planning the trip, And I'm not talking about this accommodation, flight, dates, and lucky destination. It's pretty obvious how to do this, but I'm gonna tell you how exactly I am planning every day, every second, taking all the circumstances into one place to make sure that your trip and my trip are perfect.
I'm a calendar freak for sure. So what I did, I created the whole new calendar. So basically in Google Calendar, I can just click here and create a new calendar. So which I called Paris and Rome. And therefore every day I have all the events planned. This is my plan A. So definitely there is plan B, plan C, plan D, and so on and so forth that are stored in my FigJam file. But here I have everything planned. So, for example, things like trips, things like destinations, things, for example, like theaters. So, we went also to Brazil. So, I also booked, not booked, but planned how long it will take us to get there, some free time. I did color coding. I won't dive deeper into all the explanations about this color coding, but it's pretty insane. But I love it. Another thing that I'm usually doing is I'm creating a particular folder, a specific folder in my Gmail. Like, for example, there I have lots of them, but I created one for Paris and Rome, Vietnam, where I'm adding all the emails that I am receiving into this folder to make sure that if I need them to be available immediately, I can just go to my folder and there I can find all the tickets, all the bookings, and so on and so forth. Okay, at this point, you might think that I'm a Google addict. You can think this way, but I really love these products. So, what else I have is in my Google Drive, I have a travel folder, and inside I have folders for everything, for all the trips that I've heard. So if I click here on Rome Paris, right, so there I can find again all my boarding tickets because Gmail is not always loading. So I am creating a folder here. That's annoying. With my boardings, with my tickets, with spreadsheets. The other thing that I want to share with you is that I love spreadsheets, and I have a spreadsheet for sort of like everything, but this is my budgeting spreadsheet. And I also have a spreadsheet here for my take list. So this is my standard template, and I'm customizing and adjusting this to every particular trip. For example, if I need to take I don't know, sunscreen, or if I need to take my ski pass, ski outfit. So I'm adjusting this, and but that's a very basic one that I'm happy to share with you. It's gonna be in the description, so you can use it as well. But what I'm also doing, I am not downloading, but making it offline available on my phone, so that if I need to access the tickets or boarding passes or any other types of documents, I can very easily do this offline without accessing internet. One more thing that I am using is Google, not just Google Maps, but my maps. I can't recommend it at 100%. This is the best solution. I'm still looking for the best tool for maps planning, but that's what I'm using so far. And what I like about it is, for example, if I click here on Paris, right? So I can very easily create different layers, right? I can add, for example, a layer with, let's say I don't know, for example, restaurants, right? And I can add all my restaurants. Yeah, for example, this is the restaurant, right? So I can very easily put the name on it, right? I can put some description like terrace recommended by Nico, right? I can also add photos, right? So there are lots of different ways how you can add the photos, and you can access all those destinations and all those marks on your phone. It's not very mobile friendly, so I'm not sure if I can 100% recommend it, but I can also add some descriptions, I can add some photos. Like in this particular case, I don't have many photos, but if I, for example, go back to, I think it should be maybe Rome. Yeah, so here, as you see, I have lots of different options. Yeah, I remember even I created one time layers as days, so I can just very easily click on the layer and all my destinations are in one day. So, for example, here, as you see here, I also have lots of different different destinations. I can color code. So, for example, fountains are here in this emerald green blue color. So all my places to eat are in yellow. So usually my house, like where I'm staying, it's something like black, right? And um, if I'm not mistaken, yes, all airports, so like the major destinations, I'm highlighted in black. So if it is some green area, I'm highlighted in green. And the areas that I want to visit, yeah, for example, museums, or like there is also the museum, or for example, Vatican City, right? So there I can also color code, so I can apply different colors. For example, this is the must see, right? While, for example, I don't know, this is not that very much important, right? So I'm applying some lighter colors to this. I know this is a bit freakish, but that's how I'm using this. I love it, right? And as I say, I've been using this for a while because since 2018, because I still can't find the best tool for the maps like this. Probably the most exciting thing that I want to share with you is my board, mood board, plan board, everything board. It's made in FigJam. So obviously I start with step one is the flight. So I'm putting everything into the flight section here to make sure that I have all the connections and all the flights booked, right? So I have the seats again. Like if I can't access, for example, Gmail or Google Drive, just in case. Yeah, so I'm having everything in one place. So I can very easily find the reference and what's going on with my plan. So second section is hotels, right? So there again, I'm putting some stickers, whether when I am booked something. So I'm also put the ticks here if it is booked or not, and the payments when they go through. So make sure that I have all the payments arranged and the total for all the spendings here on my left corner, so that I can then very easily calculate how much I spend. There is a section for the maps, right? So if I'm sharing this with my friends, or in this particular case with my mom, so she can also very easily access and find all this information in one place. So I definitely have a to-do list, so with my tasks, yeah, so things that I have to do. So I locate them here, and then I can very easily add a new row or a new task and just tick the boxes once they're done. Because was with my mom, so I definitely have a present section. So all the presents that I want to bring to her. So section B, the entry requirements. That was the thing, COVID, if you remember. I think it still exists. It's still with us, but it's not that severe, and we have some immune system against it. But anyway, so you still have to be very careful with the entry requirements. Some countries still have them, so you have to check and make sure that you have all the requirements for the entrance to this country. Checklist, again, this Google Sheet that I'll be sharing with you. So I also have it just to be able to very easily access it right over there. And I also usually sometimes put some notes like, hey, for example, add a swimsuit or bathrobe or whatever it is. Yeah, and then I'm just adding this to my particular sheet here. So weather, yeah, I am this freak who's checking on when the sun comes up and goes down, and the weather forecast to make sure that I can dress appropriately. So there I have the ideas for my outfit. So again, this is the weather, right? And the different ideas of what I can bring, what I can wear. So it's already a polished, nicely polished way. Yeah, before that, there is the whole mess of, in general, all the different outfits that I can bring. So there I have usually a big list of all the items, and then I can combine them together. But outfits, they are great, right? But you also have to have different occasions, and that's basically where this big huge section comes into play. So I have Paris, right? I have Rome. So there I have a list of things that my friends, for example, recommended, or that I found in general by Google search. Or another tool that I love is Get Your Guide. So I'll also share the link to this, where you can not exactly book the experience with them, but you can again get inspired and get the ideas of what people do in the cities usually or nearby. So I'm putting the whole list. So there was a bigger list, of course, of all the things that I wanted to do, and then I'm splitting them into the days. So the number of days that I have in the city. So 28, 29. So 29, also 29, 29 was a very active day. So the 30, 30, 30. So on 30s, I had Palazzo Russell and Moulin Rouge in the evening. So 30, first we went to Louvre and also wanted to climb the Eiffel Tower, but we decided not to, along with the jazz clubs in the evening. So I had some recommendations, yeah, that I'm also putting into my Google Maps. So then November 1st is the flight date. I didn't want to overwhelm this too much, so I just planned a dinner for the evening. So again, I'm having two tabs open, my ideas tab and my calendar map, to make sure that, not map, but just my calendar schedule, to make sure that I have everything on place. So November 2nd was Colosio, so I booked the tickets for Colosio, right? And in the evening we had this opera with a dinner option. So there was option that I really enjoyed, but actually we didn't go there because we decided just to wander around. So November 3rd is St. Peter's Basilica, so museum on Sistine Chapel. So there were different options. Again, I booked this on Get Your Guide. I really loved it, but I couldn't find any other ways how to book this. And in the evening, again, due to the help of Get Your Guide, I managed to find a cooking masterclass. So where we cooked pasta, ravioli, and tiramisu. There was lots of fun. There was a small class of 10 people that I'd highly recommend to anyone. So I booked this option. Then we had, before we left, so we had extra day. So we decided not to stay in Rome, but to go to Florence. Again, I had several options, cities nearby that we can very easily access with not a very long ride to the cities. And my mom chose Florence over Venice, and I think there were a few other ideas just to go to, for example, wine tasting or some other provinces not far from Rome. But we ended up in Florence, and it was an amazing day in Florence. So November 5th is just shopping day. So we did literally nothing, just shopping, wandering around, just to have this day of absolutely doing nothing. And November 6th, actually, it was the another do nothing day. So I think that we ended up in the park. We found some segways and some other fun things to do, but that was just the day when we did nothing again. And yeah, that's how I am planning my trip.
Well, thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, and if it doesn't save you hours, I hope it will save you maybe minutes. In the meantime, as this is my second video, I'd highly appreciate if you just like this video. That would inspire me to share what I'm doing to improve my life on a daily basis. Thank you.